Destroyah, a kaiju that fans have been begging for ever since the start of the Monsterverse. Some events and clues in the Monsterverse have led to the stream happening, but we have yet to get any major clue to the coming of this kaiju. However, with Monarch Season 2, we might have just gotten a major clue that seems a little too obvious that might lead to the creation of this kaiju. And I mean, it's so obvious that if they don't do it, it would be a huge missed opportunity for the future of the Monsterverse. It has something to do with these little guys, surprisingly, yes, the baby Titan X's, and how they fit into another certain event in the Monsterverse that takes place in Godzilla King of the Monsters. So let's get right into it. In Monarch Legacy of Monsters, the scarabs are little bug organisms that worship their god Titan X, who are of course referred to as the sea creatures in the village that basically have a symbiotic relationship with Titan X. These little bugs are very powerful, as seen in episode 2 and episode 4, when of course in episode 2 when the scarab lets out an extremely loud sound that reached all the way to Titan X, again showing off their very symbiotic relationship and how they're very deeply interconnected, and that how these guys, they're not going to leave Titan X alone. And in episode 4, how they pretty much mauled down, or not mauled down, pretty much killed instantly the two divers. However, their shape looks very similar to something from the Toho universe in specific, and this is where we go to Godzilla vs. Destroyah. The little crabs from Godzilla vs. Destroyah that evolve into Destroyah eventually definitely have some kind of resemblance to these guys and look very similar. Again, they're both crustacean-like creatures who, of course, come from the sea. Now, in Godzilla King of the Monsters, this is the interesting part right here. In Godzilla King of the Monsters, the Oxygen Destroyer was released into the ocean, and this is exactly how Destroyah was, of course, created in 1995's Godzilla vs. Destroyah, and this is an event that fans have been speculating on being connected to Destroyah at some point in the future of the Monsterverse for, you know, like maybe like a Destroyah of Monsters kind of film, where Destroyah is like the main villain, and Godzilla has to fight him, and this is how Destroyah would be created, because it's literally the exact same way he's created in 1995. So it would make sense that they would kind of carry this over, because the Monsterverse again is kind of lazy. The events of Godzilla King of the Monsters take place only 2 years from the events of Monarch Legacy of Monsters Season 2, so it's definitely possible that there could be some kind of build up to that event. Maybe even we'll see some of the early concepts for the Oxygen Destroyer. I know there's been a lot of crazy technology so far revealed in Monarch Legacy of Monsters with like the brain chips that Apex has been making, so it wouldn't be a stretch. And there was probably a lot of scattered scarabs in the ocean right after the rampage of Titan X, if they of course defeat Titan X, which I actually don't think that we will defeat Titan X for good. I think we'll probably trap him somewhere, or trap her somewhere, I'm sorry, but I think, yeah, there's definitely gonna be some kind of lead up to this. These scarabs, who resemble the little Prevo Destroyers like we've said multiple times, may have been exposed to the Oxygen Destroyer, leading to their evolution. And I don't think this is a stretch. I mean, the Oxygen Destroyer was only detonated 2 years after 2017, which is the events of Monarch Legacy of Monsters, and when all these scarabs possibly like scavenge and spread throughout the entire world. So maybe they're out there in the ocean, and maybe we defeated Titan X, but there's a big threat coming. But here is the interesting part, because a lot of reviews, and I've been talking about this in all my Monarch Legacy of Monsters videos, a lot of reviews teased a big surprise to be happening by the end of the season, and that of course is going to be setting up the future of the Monsterverse and other spin-off shows, which is what the reviews specifically stated. And I think that this is a good way to set up the future of the Monsterverse, because again, Destroyah is something that fans have been wanting to appear eventually in like a endgame kind of Monsterverse thing for so long, and I think there could be even more build up to this. We never know, right? Maybe like in other I don't know, spin-off shows, the Lee Shaw spin-off show, not that one, but like other spin-off shows, we could see like the creation of the Oxygen Destroyer. Maybe these guys get detonated and the government has to hide it, or something, Monarch has to hide it. I think that's definitely possible, as the reviews have been teasing that there is going to be a huge revelation by the end of the season. This could be what that is, and it seems to be a internet breaking revelation. That's what the review says, and that's not what I'm saying. So yeah, that's basically the entire theory here, and I think that Destroyah is definitely a possibility, but this, of course, takes place in between Godzilla 2014 and Godzilla King of the Monsters, so there is a lot of stuff that needs to happen before, you know, we have to have Godzilla vs. Kong take place, and then we have to have the new Empire take place. So I think, yes, this could actually set up Destroyah for the future of the Monsterverse, and I think that's what the reviews were teasing. But I also feel like it's kind of too early for that. I mean, with Supernova coming out, we're going to be getting SpaceGodzilla, right? So how are we going to have Destroyah this early in the Monsterverse? Maybe like he was hiding somewhere for a long time, but that would kind of be lazy again. So I don't know. I really don't think it's connected now that I think about it. But we'll see what happens with these scarabs and if they'll actually be relevant in the future of the Monsterverse. Anyway, that's gonna do it for today's video, and subscribe. We'll be making so many more Monarch Legacy Monsters videos. I'm starting to catch up now. I'm sorry about that, but we're back in it, and yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one.